I appreciate all of you coming here. I'm the Director of Product Management for Valera Trust File, which is one of Valera's newer offerings. And what I'm going to be talking to you today about is why Valera is a great solution for simplifying your sales tax problems. Valera has been around for 10 or 12 years. We have more than 1,000 employees around the globe, and we offer global solutions for dealing with your sales tax. Last year, we calculated tax on more than 4 billion transactions, and as a company, we filed more than 1 million sales tax returns. So we are sort of the trusted leader in the field. For you guys, the key questions that I'm guessing you have are, why should you care about sales tax? And the reason is actually really simple. States rely on sales tax as a major source of revenue. For most states that collect sales tax, and there are only 5 that don't, sales tax accounts for anywhere from 25 to 35% of the state's revenues. And in states like Washington, where I live, sales tax is more than 60% of the state's revenue because we don't have income tax in Washington. The National Retail Foundation estimates that there's $25 billion a year of sales tax on e-commerce transactions that are going uncollected. And if you are sitting in a state government, you're looking at that $25 billion as a great way to help make your budget work. So states are getting more aggressive in going after sales tax for e-commerce sellers, and they're doing that in a couple ways. They're getting more aggressive in their collection efforts, but they're also redefining the way that businesses, what sets the criteria for a business needing to collect sales tax in a state. So what I'm going to do today is just really quickly run you through 3 of the things that you need to know in order to get started down the path of dealing with sales tax. So the first is, what the heck is Nexus? The second is, how do I know how much tax to collect? And the third is, once I've collected the tax, how do I file my returns? So we'll start with Nexus. And that basically is a legal term that describes the connection between a state and a business. And the key question here is, how do you know if you have Nexus? Now, before e-commerce started taking off, that was really easy because if you had a retail store in that state, you had Nexus and you had to file sales tax there. But as states are getting more aggressive, they're redefining what Nexus means to include a whole bunch of things that most e-commerce merchants don't know about. So for example, if you store inventory in a state, you have Nexus in that state, and you are legally, as far as the state's concerned, supposed to be collecting and remitting sales tax. The same in some states with affiliate advertisers. So if you're using, a blog to promote your products, and someone buys by clicking on an ad there, and that blogger is based in New York, that gives you Nexus in New York. The bottom line is that this is an ever-evolving area, and there are some common sense things that you can do, but really our advice is that you probably want to be talking to someone who's a tax expert. Once you figure out where you have Nexus, the question is, what do you do? And the next step, obviously, is to get registered with those states. Every state is different, and they define how you have to file returns. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. Valera can help you get registered, so can any accountant or CPA. And we really strongly recommend that you start here and do a Nexus study and understand, where you should be collecting tax. So once you've collected tax, then what? We're all familiar with city, state, and town jurisdictions, and most of those will align with zip codes, and that is one of the most common ways that folks calculate their sales tax rates. But like everything with sales tax, it's actually a little bit more complicated than that. So there are 12,000 jurisdictions. City, states, city, states, and counties are one, but there are also all of those crazy special jurisdictions, and they could be for transportation districts, for school districts, they could be for stadiums. Local governments come up with lots and lots of different tax jurisdictions, and they, as you'll see in a minute, are often kind of this crazy patchwork. There are also more than 35,000 tax rates, and part of the challenge that some businesses have is that the tax rates in certain vertical categories are evolving really quickly. So areas where we know that there's particular complexity, clothing is one. The rules around clothing taxability are crazy complicated, and they vary a lot from state to state. Another one is when you're dealing with a combination of hardware, software, and services. So some businesses have a really straightforward, like everything gets taxed and that's very simple. Other businesses have a more complex landscape they have to deal with. The bottom line is that your business is responsible, as far as the states are concerned, for collecting the right amount of sales tax. And so you want to find a rate lookup solution that makes it possible for you to do that. And they range from simple to complicated. Oops. Try that again. Okay, so here's a map of the United States that shows all of the different tax jurisdictions. So we're going to just zoom in on the Denver area, and you can see, each jurisdiction is a somewhat different color. As we zoom in, you can see that it starts getting more complicated. And in many places, Colorado is notoriously complicated, but this is a great example. The tax jurisdictions are not even contiguous. So if we zoom in a little bit closer, sorry, let me run through that again. Not sure why that's balking. Okay, so on Leiden Street, your tax rate is 9.25%. 6 houses away on Locust Street, your tax rate is almost half of that. So again, where you're located and the actual specifics of any given transaction can have a huge difference in the amount of tax that you've got. So how do you get calculations that are this accurate? You use AvaTax with WooCommerce. AvaTax is our real-time solution for calculating sales tax. It integrates with WooCommerce as well as about 400 other platforms, and we guarantee accuracy. So let me just show you a couple things. So this is the tax pane in WooCommerce. And as you can see, we also have product and product category taxability codes built in. So once you've got your tax calculated and you're starting to collect tax, how do you go about filing your sales tax returns? This gets back to Nexus. So your state registration determines your filing requirements. Every state has different reporting requirements. And the key thing here is that once you've collected tax, you really need to get it back to the state promptly and on time. You'll get fines and penalties for not collecting tax, but if you collect a lot of tax and don't actually remit it, the penalties are actually much harsher. So I'm going to run through the filing process really quickly. So the first thing that you want to do is gather all of your transactions for any platform that you're using for the filing period. Then you need to organize those by state and jurisdiction. Then you need to process the data and get it back onto your tax returns. And then you need to file and remit that to the state. And then you need to go through that whole process again. So you can do all of that work yourself, obviously, but you can also have Valera automate it for you. We have 2 different sales tax filing solutions. Valera Returns is our fully automated business process outsourcing, and that's connected to our AvaTax solution. And for WooCommerce folks, the price for a return is $50. And the great thing about this for a lot of business owners is that once you sign up for Valera Returns, those returns get filed whether you do anything or not. We also have Valera Trust File, which is a new product that offers a sort of hybrid of automated and do-it-yourself filing. So if you use Trust File, we handle data from anywhere. We do all of the same automatic processing that Valera Returns uses on the back end, but you're responsible for making sure that the data is accurate and that you actually go in and file your returns monthly. That's a $24 a month subscription, and you can use signature-ready returns, which are included, or you can go ahead and file using Trust File. We file in every state. We do sales tax only, and we don't cover any local returns. Those are available in Valera Returns. So let's take a really quick look at Trust File. I put together a little video rather than doing a demo, so let me go ahead and play that.
For WooCommerce sellers who are looking for an easier way to file sales tax returns, Trust File is a great option. Signing up for a 30-day trial is fast, easy, and free. Once you've created a Trust File account, the next step is adding your sales transactions. TrustFile can import your data from virtually anywhere, and we have a WooCommerce plugin launching this month, so syncing transactions will soon be fully automatic. TrustFile charges a flat monthly subscription fee, so there's never a limit on the number of transactions you upload. TrustFile bases your filing calendar on your data. If you've collected sales tax in a state, we assume you're registered there. All you have to do to get started is confirm the form and your filing frequency. The state sales tax report is where TrustFile's true value lies. We call on Avatax to determine how the tax you collected should be broken out across different jurisdictions. The liability report shows this breakdown, and it's easy to move between the state sales tax report and the transactions included on that return. Any transaction can be edited or deleted, a capability we added based entirely on customer feedback. TrustFile offers signature-ready returns for many states. These forms are pre-populated with your sales data, and you can simply print, sign, and mail them as part of your monthly subscription. If you want an even more convenient experience, you can file returns right from TrustFile for a small additional fee. We offer a fully automated workflow in some states and concierge filing in others. Our team is dedicated to creating a one-stop shop for self-service sales tax returns. Try our service free for a month and file your first return for free. You'll be amazed at how much time you save.
I just want to recap by sort of pointing out that there are, the three things that we talked about. The first thing is figuring out where you have Nexus. The second is getting accurate tax calculations, and obviously our recommendation for anybody here is that you use Avatax with WooCommerce. And the third thing is figuring out how automated you want the returns filing process to be. And we have great solutions for all three of those. We can do Nexus studies, help you with registration, and we would love you to come by our booth and ask any questions that you have. Thank you.